You're an idiot.
So what's up, dude?
Not a whole lot. Just at the house for right now.
Yeah. I got my computer to start right up this time.
You know what? Well, I did too, but I had to get my wife to finish it up.
Yeah, mine was left from the other day, and I was able to just move shit, and it popped on. Normally, it takes me 5-10 minutes to turn it on.
Well, that
I
means
don't
we're
know.
getting better.
Yes, I don't know how to turn my computer on. That's good.
You're
That's
getting
good.
good. You're getting good.
It's amazing we can even do this.
So, how's your archery break been going since you've been home from the World Games? Since you're supposed to
Not.
take a, I could have told you that.
It's not. I'm not leaving the house to shoot, so that's a step in the right
Oh,
direction.
there you go. Yeah,
I'm
I'm sure your
shooting at
wife
home.
likes that.
It is better to shoot at home than leave every
Oh,
night.
100% for sure.
So yeah, I'm able to do that, which whatever. I'm getting stuff done around the house I put off all year, so that's a step in the right direction.
Oh yeah, yep.
But yeah, just pretty much, I don't know, reworking everything, man.
What'd you
So
say? Pre what?
that's yeah, pretty much reworking everything.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
I didn't like that anchor. That anchor was terrible. For some reason, over the years, like I had video and pictures of years of shooting. I not study, but can look back on. And I used to anchor much different than I do now. And I
So
don't
you
know if
at World Games, I noticed that you were way
way forward.
way forward. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been a thing for the last definitely last year, and then maybe 23 a bit. And at some point after 22, I changed.
I
And
remember that. I remember the
remember.
change there.
I don't remember if it was on purpose or like what happened. But I do think as I progressed and got better and form got better, maybe that I got in a stronger position, and then part of that started coming forward, and then last year, was it last year? Definitely this year, I struggled with like a good just reference point. It was like
Yeah.
not soft, but it just wasn't that good. And
Not super
I
consistent.
no, and then because like last year in the beginning of this year, I was kind of coming in. I don't know who watches this, but I was kind of coming in and I was kind of pushing through my bottom lip, and I could feel up into my kind of my front teeth and get whatever, but
Yeah. So
pushing to the
basically, index finger center of the center of your front teeth, but you were down on the lower
yeah, or
jaw.
what? Yeah, like the right center tooth kind of coming up,
Okay,
and then
gotcha.
it was good. And then just a few weeks before World Games, I was just like, man, I still was struggling with it. So I started coming, and I just, instead of pushing up through my lip, I just put it like I was kissing the index finger, just kind of
Yeah.
in it. Man, it was good, but it definitely felt it was short. I
Yeah.
had good alignment, but it was
You
short,
probably
and it
lost
was
an inch
still
of draw length.
probably, yeah, it was definitely short. And I just was like, man, I need to do something better with that. So I come home and I did take some days off, I guess, shooting. And then I came out and then I just was like forcing myself to like come down on my jaw line.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then if I can get my thumb knuckle back behind my jaw.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah. And it's,
Middle finger under the jawline,
yeah,
basically, and then index
exactly.
finger in that divot.
Yep.
That's
Yep. And you
exactly how
straddle
I
it.
anchor.
You
Yeah.
just, and you can, man, after and at first it was super, it felt like I was like anchoring Olympic,
Yeah.
and then I was like, man, this is really low. My crawls were pretty big.
Oh
And
yeah.
then I shot some video and then I'm like, dude, that's not that low.
No. And I mean
And
that's
I
exactly
kept
where
doing
mine
it.
is.
Yeah. And I
It
kept
looks
doing
like
it.
I'm corner of the mouth, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like I hook my fingers almost like curved down.
Yeah.
So the arrow's still up here. So it's not crazy. And then I put together like a little form bow, real lightweight. And I was initially using to kind of groove it, and then I had it, and then I went to the full weight bow, which I think I've took a few turns out of my limbs now from World Game settings,
Yeah.
but and just shooting some cheaper arrows, so I don't just working on things. I don't want to tear stuff up, and I'm not trying to hit good. I'm just trying to shoot. But man, it's coming along pretty good. I've been working hard for a few weeks at it here, 2 weeks or whatever it's been. It's coming along real good. I think I'm gonna stick with it, and I've gained back a bunch of that draw length.
Yeah.
From like last time, but just dropping it that much, dude, I'm not hitting my face.
So you think it's equivalent, the draw length you're gaining, you think it's equivalent to the draw weight you turned out of it, you lost?
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Man, I wish we
No,
had a chronograph because I would like to play with little things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm 3 turns out from where I was on the Gilo. And
Okay.
I don't know what they equal to that, but it's 3 turns out.
Pound and a half-ish.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like, it's sitting at a pretty good weight. Like if something tuned, I'd feel comfortable shooting this, especially with, I have no doubt I can reach something. So I'd have to replay, but I shot some 620 and 570 ACs. Like every now and then I'll sprinkle them in, and they pound still. I just, I'm not shooting like a line or out to 50 or nothing. So I don't know what they're doing overall. Just
kind of shooting for groups before anything.
Yeah. And then I've been playing with, picking up where I left off with the triggerless stuff. So,
yeah, we'll definitely get into that. But first, I've got to show you something super cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
We got sweet stickers.
Those look good.
Man, and this is not going to do it justice here, but there's a target in the background with the tore up. That's your target face.
Yeah, that was a heater right there.
Yeah, just a slight left. But yeah,
it was. I couldn't get it right, and then you see that one out to the right at like the 8 line, almost a 7.
No, you can't see it on here. It covered it up.
On our logo, you can. You can see that one out there. That was the only outside of yellow I got.
That's bare bow for you right there. But we got like 50 of these. So basically, I'll try to dish some of these out to folks because it's kind of a trial run anyway. But we're also going to come out with some that are, if you shoot a Hoyt weight, that I'll get the bigger sticker, and then I'll get a piece of plastic that the sticker will go on. You can set it inside the Hoyt weight. If anybody wants them, or just let us know. And it's $35 a sticker, so it's super cheap. just kidding.
They have Matt's signature on them. They're limited edition.
Yeah. So that means I probably owe you money for giving them to you.
Yep.
So you're let's go ahead and get into what's going on with you as far as shooting, because I'm pretty much in limbo. Well, hold on. I'll go first real fast because mine will be quick. I'm in limbo right now. I'm shooting a Widow, getting everything dialed in for hunting, and pretty much everybody's going to hate this, but I'm shooting those Beast broadheads. Dude, they shoot identical to those, field points. So
those are the ones you and Zernzak were talking about.
Yeah.
I looked those up when I was listening to your podcast with them.
Dude, it looks, everything makes sense on it, really, but we won't get too far into that.
If they hold together.
The kicker is, if you hit them in the right spot, it really isn't going to matter, but whatever helps you get to the right spot is what's going to matter more. And honestly, the little leg on the little bump of the blade, that's on that broadhead, I'm turning up, and I can use the top of that as a pin, and it's very fine.
Oh,
and dude, oh god, so Jeremiah came over Monday, I guess, because we was all off. Jeremiah, Guy, and Chris Elliott, they all came over. Me, Jeremiah, and Chris got the hunting bows out, and we set up Chris's bow. But dude, me and Jeremiah, after everybody left, we ended up playing a game of Pig, which I lost. But I got all those 3D animals in the backyard, behind my shop, and we were shooting like eyeballs on deer and like the green eye on the panther, and like, dude, it was a blast, honestly, and we were pretty deadly. It was fun for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about the hunting crap. That's not what this is for here. So go ahead and fill us in as to what you got going on, because we're going through a major change, it sounds like.
Well, so we'll see. We're just dabbling.
Dabbling.
The big thing was
that's the big thing. You got to dabble. You got to try.
Well, yeah. So, you always, man, I don't know. I just can't leave anything alone. And if something's not right or something, I've been wanting to work on change some things for a while, but there's a time and place to change things. So
main things you're looking to change is.
So yeah, I want new anchor. I got to figure that out. So I'm getting that kind of headed.
Yep.
And then I needed to figure out the finger pain issue with
Yep.
the callus, and I've been playing with tabs, and it's basically it's coming down to a not a tab issue. It's just how I hook, and the meaty. I just got fat little short fingers, so when I make my hook, it pinches that meat up, and then it creates a callus on it, and they get big, and then they get sore from heavy shooting. So I wrap my fingers, and I've got some rubber coming actually any day, maybe tomorrow. That's like pretty hard durometer and thin. Because if I build it out too thick, then it
you can't feel anything through it.
well, it's not even that. It just builds it out thick, so then it pushes that meat more.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? Because there's I'm hooking against the plate, and then it just makes it worse. So it's like a point of diminishing returns on it. So I need to be. So I've got some thinner stuff to play with, but I don't know how I'm going to kind of proceed on that. We'll just have to see. I mean, I can file them way down and get, and if I don't shoot super heavy and keep them taped up, it's manageable. But and by heavy, I don't mean like heavy poundage. I mean like this heavy, like a heavy arrow volume, like lots of arrow volume. It gets to be, but right now it's fine. I'm taping up, and it's all good. I just that's we'll keep playing with that, whatever.
Yeah.
And then
so anchor, tab.
Yeah.
What else?
And then well, the big thing is this whole journey of the
don't sigh like it's a bad thing.
Well, it's not a bad thing. It's just it's an interesting thing because like the whole journey, this whole trigger shooting journey has been interesting because you read things, especially before I even got into it, and then even as I go into it, and I'll have just chat with people, and people do things a certain way, and I do things a certain way, and you get some like generality, just like, wow, this is how it is, and I'm not, some of that stuff I don't agree with, and I was like, that's not what I'm finding, but I'm finding problems with it, and I don't know if.
Can you list some of those issues that you're dealing with?
Well, big thing is it's worthless in the wind. Like I've come to realization, like a good competitive, not competitive, just a good score is never going to happen in the wind. Just not going to happen.
Right.
I've tried in practice, so there's no pressure, and just figure it out, because in the wind there's a element of having to time it.
Right. And this is all of a grip sear.
Yeah, well, any trigger, like if you're running a tab sear, if you're running an internal trigger, right? Like if you're standing in the wind and the wind's blowing you, right? It's small gusting back and forth. Like anybody that doesn't shoot a trigger shot is, at full draw, the wind's blowing them around. I mean, they're just watching the aim. And then when it settles, right? It settles, and then you can be like, okay, and then you can just shoot it.
Right.
As a trigger shooter, you can't really do that, because you're just, right, draw back and aim, wind's blowing you around, and you're just running your trigger. You're just running your sear, whatever it is. And then when that thing breaks, if that wind gust pushes off and it breaks, boom, it's going. Or you're going to fall in that trap where you're going to be, and it's a slippery slope where you're really paying attention to the trigger. And then when it blows you off, you just kind of let up. And I tell you, you're not going to shoot a good score doing it that way. Like, it's not happening. I don't know. It's difficult at best. And, so it sucks. It's kind of like a downfall of it. And I shoot in the wind often, and I don't like it.
And that's the thing.
I've shot
field and
some
50
elimination.
Yeah,
dude. And I've shot some elimination matches like in the wind. And when you're making awesome shots and you just can't hit good, because it's kind of like,
because you're blowing over here, then your sear goes
breaks,
off, and
boom,
bam,
and you're going, and you're like, dude, these shots are perfect, and they're just going, and I'm not scoring well, and then you get, you lose the match or whatever, and then you get, that's it, and you're like, well, so it's like the level of control, and this was told to me by somebody that helps me a ton, and
you can't mention him?
Yeah, Demmer. When he speaks, when he speaks, I listen,
Oh, sure.
And,
you have to.
And he, yeah. And he told me one time, and he has a very good point. And he goes, what's that level of control cost you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a good point, because I've got the utmost of control, right? And sometimes it's just, I don't know, so it's not a bad thing. It's just something I notice, and I don't know if I'm okay with it, So and then obviously with a grips here, you're putting some stuff in the bow, and then tabs here, you're putting some stuff in right your hook, and that stuff shows up. It absolutely shows up downrange, where you can be making good shots and your group's just, and not a good scoring round, and you're like, and over a period of time, especially in practice, when I can plot things and I just know where I'm at with everything, and I can be like, man, these are great shots. And it's just because I'm one day I'm working a little bit more, and it's just like, that's not even a good score. It's like it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter how controlled I am right now, because that is not a score that gets me in the fight.
Right.
So it's like, shit. So it's frustrating when you make good shots and it just doesn't happen because you've got like a bunch of extra shit in the bow or whatever reason. So you're just like, okay. And I was playing, with this indoor, and I kind of got away from it rolling into outdoor because the amount of time I'm going to have to put into this wasn't going to work with the outdoor season rolling in. It just, it was like I needed to do something to stay right competitive. So I stuck with the grip sear, which is the sear system I like the best of everything that I've tried. Whatever. So, but I'm playing with it, and I luckily picked up, man, almost where I left off for indoor. I was a little jumpier,
Yeah.
just because reliant on that. Yeah, because you're so used to a cue to shoot, and there's just something, and you decide to you don't have that anymore. It's like that was a big hang up for me. It's like, how do I, it's like, get it there. Well, it's like phases, right? Like at first you can't get it there, or you get it there, then you got that urge to shoot, so you're jumpy, and then you build that in, and then you can kind of get it there and you can hold for a second, and then it's like, okay, I can hold, like everybody that says you got to do draw holds, right, to break it, and I think complete bullshit on that. I've done draw holds for ever, and it doesn't cure my target panic anyways. And it's just when you decide to shoot, when you're just like, you could draw hold, then go, all right, I'm going to shoot this shot, and then suddenly you're jumpy, and because I was missing that cue. So now so I'm at the point where I've got to train that out. Like, I don't have a cue. It's just right, just run through it, watch the aim, watch it float, become okay with that, and then at some point just be okay with the shot happening. And so that's where I'm at, and it's getting better every day. And
It's
I found
huge
that,
positive.
yeah, I found that in last winter, every day, there's some Andrew Huberman stuff on this, and when you get older, like we were getting, and learning new things, and I believe it. He's a brain. He's a
Oh yeah,
science.
he's a
So he's like,
neuroscientist or something like that, huh?
yeah. So it's like very legit, and I'm like, dude, this shit's actually working. Holy smokes,
Yeah.
And so I mean, every day I'm a little bit better. It feels like, and I just got done from a kind of session outside for a while, and man, it was pretty good, pretty good. I tell you what, in the last week, I broke more knocks in the last week than I have in a long time.
Well,
Long
nothing
time.
wrong
And
with
I'm like,
that.
yeah, dude, I'm just, whatever. I mean, I'm getting some oopsies every now and then. But I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have plenty of oopsies with a triggered shot too. So
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah,
not
for
like I
sure.
don't. It's not like I don't, that's for sure. So I don't know. It's fun to play with, especially when you don't have like a something you're preparing for.
Yeah.
You're just like, I don't care. I don't have anything planned in the future at all at this point. So I can dabble all I want, and but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, and basically all I'm doing is just holding, man. Just really focusing. A lot like you were talking the other day is in your deal where you're just like, I'm not talking through, because I find when I talk through, I get jumpy.
Yeah.
because you're like, okay, well, when the step's finished, now I'm going to shoot. So as soon as you get done talking, it's like gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not okay with that. It's like, no, that's not the idea, because then you're building like there's like if you get relying on something and it doesn't happen, like I don't want to be hung up and then I'm talking through it and I'm hung up and then I stop talking and then I go
Because
because
that's
I didn't
exactly
fix
what
anything.
happens.
Yeah, because I'm not fixing anything at
Right.
that point. I'm just like moving the situation, or I'm moving the problem around in different areas, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm just pretty much dumbing out, and I'm just really focusing on just a hold. I'm just getting it there, and I'm just looking. I'm looking for a sight picture that is very just a tight, calm sight picture, like aim wise, right? I'm just looking for an aim that's it's on there, because initially when you get it in, you have that like maybe urge to send it. At least I do, because I'm basically a sight picture trigger shooter, and I have been never learned the correct way to do it. And so once I get it in from there, there's a little bit of a I initially get there, then it kind of bobbles around a little bit, and if I just wait, I'm not talking through it, but I just focus on holding it there, and I let that sight picture calm down. It just calms down and just has a nice, float, but it's just small, steady, centered one. And then you just become okay with it happening, and that's very hard. But become okay with the shot breaking, and then it can break, and it's good. So I just, I got back to I'm back to 25 meters at this point. Pretty decent. I still have sometimes I go and I have an initial like, all right, the shot could happen now, where I moved to that point, and I just get a little jump where I'm like, maybe it's floating around and it kind of perfectly comes across center, and I'll get a little urge right then to send it, and I just kind of it's a pretty small one, and I'll just kind of hold through that and be like, no, just let that thing really settle in there and just watch it, and then break, and we'll see. I'm just gonna play with that for a while, and
Yeah, it's definitely worth playing with. I mean, especially if you're not happy with what's currently happening. And that's the biggest thing too, is if you're in a spot where you don't feel like you're improving much, or you know what I mean, you're going to have to make some kind of change. I mean, obviously there's levels to that, but I mean, if you're shooting 290 indoor scores, then maybe you shouldn't change anything if you're stuck there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah,
but if you're stuck much lower than what you think you ought to be at, if you're honest with yourself, then you've got to make some sort of a change, whether that be the anchor maybe being in a better position for shooting,
yeah,
or a better hold, whatever that may be. But because you know what, I've fallen into that, and even whenever I was shooting great, I would make a change, and it would, which was stupid whenever I was shooting really well, you know. So you just got to know and kind of judge off of how things are going for you. If 270 or 250 is your, that's where you want to be at, and you're happy there, then shoot like you're shooting or whatever. But make little bitty changes at that point, maybe.
yeah,
But
yeah. Well,
I don't know.
even like indoor last year, I come back from Canada and kind of rolled right into play with a little bit of field right then, and then I kind of rolled into some indoor stuff right after. I mean, the weather was still decent, so I was able to shoot some indoor out in my
Yeah.
yard, and then man, I was just pounding practice. I mean,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
practice was
that was the whole time I was like,
way good scores,
yeah,
way good. I mean, this is some of my best practice scores I've ever shot.
yeah.
And I mean, they just absolutely did not translate into tournament. Just it's so reactive on that trigger where you get it's just a weird thing, and maybe maybe it's like, well, you're not running the trigger right. It's like, oh, okay, maybe not, but what am I doing? It's kind of a weird deal. So that's a big part of why for Lancaster and like indoor nationals, I just kind of played with triggerless. It was actually like
And you did well.
it
And
was.
I remember specifically you being like, man, I just had more fun. And because you wasn't so
Yeah, dude, I
stressed
was way
out.
more calm. Dude, it was way
Yeah.
more calm. Like, and I was like total war in my head, just getting it on the center. But I was like, I feel more in control even with a war in my head because
There's a
I
war in
just,
everybody's head with it.
oh
That's
yeah,
just the
yeah,
way that
yeah,
is.
yeah. So, and I don't know. And I'm not saying anything. I'm, dabble with this, play with this, whatever. And, but if it's not reliable when a tournament's here, I mean, I'm not opposed. I'll grip sear my way to whatever I got to do. I'm
Sure.
not
Yeah.
against it by any
No,
means,
absolutely not. No.
and I might just be what I have to do for the rest of my life, and I'm good with it. But it's definitely worth trying to improve on something. So I just, I didn't see it translate well over to indoor scores for me at all.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like
And I put a lot into
that's what I
that.
was about to say. I
Holy
mean, like,
shit,
I don't think
dude.
people realize how much time you put in. Like you, in my opinion, are probably the hardest working shooter in barebow. Period. I don't know. I'm not saying that other people aren't, but I'm just saying, like,
Right,
I
right.
know how
Like
many
arrow
arrows
volume,
you put down.
I don't know. I put a lot of arrow volume. And it's not like shit arrow volume, like where I'm just lobbing arrows. Like
Right.
everything's got a, like my practice, and maybe we'll do a podcast in there. I've had some people asking about like how I kind of a little bit more in depth how I prepared for like the field tournaments and world games and, just the ones I did or whatever, and how I kind of, because I did certain things kind of leading up to it. And especially as I got closer, I kind of, I had some certain practice I was doing to cover all bases of the game I'm trying to play. But,
Yeah.
like arrow volume, I don't know. I'm just lots of arrows, people. I shoot a lot of arrows in a year,
Put a number
and I
on
don't.
it, roughly. Like when you're getting preparing for a tournament, right? Say, what's the next tournament? Is it Lancaster, or are you going to go
No,
the?
I might go to the sixth. Well,
You
yeah,
may be going
Rushmore.
to
I
the
forgot about
Rushmore
that.
because it's up there by
I
you
forgot
now.
about that.
Yeah, you're going to go to
Yeah, I
that for
might.
sure.
I might. Yeah, I might go to that. There's a local deal also. Well, it's about as far as Rushmore, not as far. It's a little bit north of Indy. There's a local deal, the Hoosier 690. I might go to.
Yeah.
That'll be if I go to a tournament. That'll be my next one.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, good way to practice
Yeah,
it and just kind of see where you're
yeah,
at.
I might. Yeah, and I'll see how I'm coming up to it, and if it's nothing's working, I may not go and just
Well, and
blow it
that's the
off.
key takeaway too is if you're willing, if you're changing things and doing whatever, don't put off the next local tournament or whatever. Say it thinking, I want to perfect it. You just need to go and
Go.
deal with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I've done that. Like,
Sometimes you gotta be willing to go and not do well.
well, and that was, man. The week before we went to outdoor nationals, I don't think I ever mentioned what I scored, but I was having some crazy issues with multiple different things. Mainly my tune, my setup, and things like that. But it was not forgiving when I would make a bad shot at all.
Yeah,
The way that it was running, and I don't even think I broke 600.
right.
And like I was like sweating it big time, and I got home, and then I think I lost an arrow or something, missed the target. I got home, and
Is that why you had to overnight some arrows?
yes, which
Yeah,
if you overnight them, you're really 3 days out.
yeah,
And I was in a
yeah.
rush because I didn't have. I think I had 7 arrows or something like that. But
Right.
so I got the arrows 2 days before, threw 130 in the front of them, and I kind of went over this in Matt's in the push podcast a bit. But I threw
Hmm.
130 in them, and Jeremiah actually got my limbs like in plane and everything. He's super good at that. But got me all set up real quick because I was getting frustrated with it. Dude, as soon as that happened, I shot like four ends of like
Tens.
4 or 5 tens. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh God. And
yeah,
and I called Guy and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I hope this works, And
yeah, yeah,
dude, sure enough, I got there and I put up a super good score right off the bat. And I'm like, that was it. And that blows my mind. Like, because I was telling Guy, but whenever we left that other tournament before we went to outdoor nationals, I was like, man, I was making good shots. Like, it was not my shot. And I could tell by me and him talking, he was like, well, you know what I mean? Because
yeah,
that's typically the issue, right? But it was not the issue for me at that point because I know when I'm shooting well and they're not hitting and something's wrong. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
we revamped the bow and everything, and I told him about it, and he was like, "Well, good. It's working great. That's where we're at." And so we got up there, man, and uh, I shot like the first practice round, and I was like, "Oh, dude, this is gonna be good." I knew it like right off the bat.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I
just like
mean?
grooving. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like and that was the thing too, is I made sure that I did not go to like autopilot, because I think that's probably a bad thing. It can be good,
Yeah,
but then it can get
that'll
terrible
be
quick.
that'll be what ruins this for me.
That's it. Because you
If
got to stop yourself. And I
yeah,
would regroup. I would shoot a couple arrows because that whole rhythm thing kind of happens to me at like arrow number 3 or 4, you know.
yeah,
So I was super adamant on after arrow 3, I would sit there and I would just kind of blank out. I wasn't necessarily thinking of anything, you know what I mean? But I was like, okay,
yeah.
let's regroup, shoot a good shot, and that's really all I put into it. And
Consciously shoot a good
that
shot.
was it. I mean, and of
Yeah,
course, I changed
because
my
that
whole
was
style of
yeah, that was told to me when I was like rhythm, like a rhythm and timing, and it
yeah.
was like
It can be
that's
amazing, but when it
but
ain't,
that's a quick way
that's a
to
quick way down a
yeah,
bad
because that'll be what
path.
happens. That'll be if I don't watch it. That'll be my issue with this is, and I can see it even a little bit now if I'm getting it and I'm just getting a decent hold. Or just like a second or two, like which 2 seconds feels like forever, right? When you're holding
Oh,
good,
sure, yeah.
1, 2, that feels like forever. But if I'm getting that and then I'm sending them and then I'm just like wearing the center out and then or I was like, wait, let's hold this long.
Well, then you
And then I
realize it,
and then
right?
I hold for like 3 or 4 and then I start getting these.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like, oh, you dummy, look at that. You're not even doing that right because
yeah.
the second that fails you, which it will, you're going to be yipping. And then for me, that's missing. That's not getting, or I'll be drive by and dropping them in and sending them as soon as they go like I used to. And
Yep.
yeah, like no rhythm and timing bullshit, none of that. Like you're looking
Well,
for what I'm looking for is a very calm sight picture, what I'm looking for.
yeah.
And then I'm going to mentally move past that and just be like, okay,
And then you're watching the aim rather than aiming it, right?
yes, yes,
So that's a huge step that a lot of folks are leaving out in their shot. I know for a fact, just because I've had a handful of people ask me, things like that.
yeah,
And I'm super guilty of it because it happens to me every time I shoot. But you just got to be able to catch it and then realize what's happening, because when you do get in that rhythm and you're like, "Oh, dude, this is getting good." As soon as you get that in your head, then you let up a little bit, right? You lose some. What would
when you
you lose
yip
some
one right off the
determination? I
paper.
guess.
Yeah, you
I
yip
don't, I
one
don't
right off
know.
the paper. That's what
And
I
it,
do.
yeah, and all over aim. I'm like, oh yeah, I was aiming. I mean, that was a great shot. Here we go. I'm gonna aim to fire out of this one. Well, as soon as you start thinking the aiming is gonna create a better score, it's just not going to. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just not, because you're
and
focusing
that
too much on that.
yeah, and then I can't. So with me, I don't know, and I'm still figuring out the aim thing. And that's the other part of big thing I got to figure out is I got to relearn to aim, and then I got to retrain to aim, I guess, because I can aim in different styles, right? Obviously,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah. You can cover lollipop, whatever you want
I
to do.
need to make it become natural so that I can move off it and it stays there.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever that is. So if I cover, it's very natural, like I naturally do it. But then depending on lighting situations and everything, I do get vertical hits for that. Where dude, I might have a group that's like this wide, like the 10 ring wide,
yeah,
but be, 8 to 8 or 7 to 7.
yep.
It just because I can't quite see that every time. And then, or if I stick it like the top where I want to hit, like you're doing, I have to kind of hard aim that. And it's hard for me to move past that because if I move past that, it wants to drift up. So I
It's
just
a
got to
much
do
harder
enough
aim
of that.
when you're doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have to do
yeah.
enough of that where that just becomes a normal sight picture where I can leave it and get away from it. And then with all this, and this is all very new stuff to me. So I'm like relearning how to shoot. It feels like,
Newbie.
and and I'm talking to some people, or a guy, and you and another guy, and about like just throwing questions out there and be like,
Yeah,
hey, like how do you guys approach this and everything
sure.
else, and then getting and just like
And I'd be interested to know, not sorry to cut you off, but I'd be interested to know, just from people that do listen, how they do aim. Like, do you cover, do you lollipop, or do you actually put the point in the 10. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how do you actually aim? I'd be super interested to know how folks are doing that, because I know
Yeah.
I now am like half mooning the 10, right?
That's what I
So
want to do so bad.
essentially I'm touching what I want to hit.
Yeah. Because
Now,
what I'm doing right now, if I get back into 3D, is going to be a handful because there's no rings for me to center on.
yeah,
So I don't like a bad way, handful, like not
sure,
good.
yeah,
Because even
because
like at
it's
the
so
boot camp
soft of
thing,
an aim with that.
yeah, I can't, I don't have a
You ain't got
reference.
nothing to
And
touch. Yeah,
so like even at the boot camp, which I don't shoot 3D anymore, but I shot some 3D targets at the boot camp, and everything I shot was high. It was just
yeah,
like good
which makes
shots. It was
sense
just all
too.
high.
Yeah, it makes sense the way
Yeah,
you're aiming.
yeah. And I was like, oh, this sucks. If I get back into 3D, I'm gonna have to, and I don't even remember what I did before when we were shooting 3D. I don't even remember. I don't even remember what I did because it was all just so
It's
fast.
a blur.
No, it's just none of it was controlled. I've never been never been a controlled shot.
Yeah,
It's been, I can't remember ever. I'm holding now ever better than I ever have in my life of holding. That's how
yeah,
riddled the target panic. People I don't think understand that. And it's
right.
like, no, dude, it's fucking bad. But yeah. And then, yeah, I don't know. And then like, you just like, you got to do this and then figure it out under the pressure deal, which, and honestly, dude, I just don't get, I get pressure. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it shooting in front of people anymore, or like out on a
You don't get like
platform or like a
you don't get like
stage.
nervous or
Mm-mm.
anything, right?
No, not at all. I get
So,
it's zero. It jacks me up zero. The only thing that, like, if I go out for like the qualification round, the very first target, I was pretty amped for. I
right. Well, because you
remember,
knew what qualifying first meant or second.
yeah. Well, even in Canada, like the very
Oh,
first target
gotcha.
of each day, actually, the very first target of the second day was, or first like 2 or 3 targets were very like amped. Probably for the whole group because we were all pretty serious, and because what's kind of on the line, right? But like even like there in China, like when I was out and like in front of people, and we had a full crowd in the stands, and it's live, and I knew that TV cameras and everything going.
Hey,
That
did they
wasn't
have
even jack.
music? Oh, God, I don't know why.
Yeah, they
Was it
did.
Chinese music?
Mm-mm.
What was it?
I don't remember. I remember like kind of jamming, tapping my foot to it.
Okay, dude, I don't know why, but the whole time you were like, whenever I was going to bed, like at night, I knew y'all were probably shooting, and I was like, man, I wonder if they got Chinese music playing like in
They
the
did.
background.
They did have a
Mariachi band.
no. They had like a exhibition, like kind of group deal, come out and do like a dance thing, and this guy he rapped basically Chinese, and they had like this traditional. They were dressed pretty traditional, like,
Right.
and they danced. They kind of, I don't know what it was. I don't know. And they put music on. They did
Huh.
that for, I think, the final matches. I don't know if that was at the end or the beginning of them. But yeah, it was interesting. But yeah. But like the pressure thing, I had some guy, or not some guy, I had numerous people ask about like managing pressure, and how to do that, like how to manage like bad arrows to good arrows. And like, because dude, you get on a heater, like people think like, how do you walk away from like a bad arrow? And like, honestly, my best advice to walk away from a bad arrow is to just actually go put yourself out there and suck in front of people.
Oh, 100%.
Because dude, like
Absolutely.
I've shot plenty of bad arrows in front of,
Me too.
important bad arrows,
Yep.
and been out on this, it is what it is. And the more you do that, the more it doesn't matter, and it like whatever. And the only thing, and then on the flip side of that is, dude, you start throwing together a few good arrows, dude, you almost get more pressure
Oh,
than
100%.
coming back from a bad arrow.
Absolutely. But
Like on an
that's,
indoor round, throw 2 10s
yep.
down there, dude. That third arrow's a mother.
So, what's interesting about that too is like, so say, I've shot plenty of bad arrows in plenty of tournaments of all kinds, but say indoor, I shoot I shoot a 4 or something, I let one go,
Yeah,
whatever. If I got, for some reason, and this kind of goes back to some of the stuff that Joel talks about, putting more determination into the shot, like because
yeah,
I am absolutely more determined to try to gain my points back, right?
yeah.
And I've thought this 100,000 times, like, man, what if I just shot that way every time? you know, like that's what I need to do essentially. And it's not something I've ever been able to just think about, because typically if I shoot a bad arrow, man, the next arrow's following it, I'm pounding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not and I'm not over aiming. I know it was just a bad fluke shot, and they're just going to happen no
Yeah.
matter
I'd say
what you
most
do.
people, I'd say most people, as you're kind of coming up, you're going to have a bad arrow. And I think they're going to try to like really make the next shot. And that's wrong. You're going to end up shooting it worse. Cause like, you're only going to shoot, you're right. You're not going to suddenly shoot a better shot.
Right.
You're not going to shoot a better shot because you try harder. Like you should be trying hard every shot. Like every shot should be 100%. And if
Right.
it's a bad one, it shit just happens. So
Oh yeah,
just
and it's going to happen.
it's gonna happen. So just move on from that, and then also when you've thrown together good shots, just move on from them
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah, just
really
forget about
easy.
it. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, because it's really easy to get. I mean, I get like that sometimes where, like, we're in an elimination or a medal or match or whatever, and and it's just a good score, you're knocked out and done, and you shoot two good arrows, like two sixes. Dude, that last arrow is a son of a, and you gotta somehow, regain it. And honestly, and I do it a lot. I hide it probably pretty well, but I do like, I'll do a couple, I'll be either box breathe, or there's like the other one where you just breathe in, then you take that extra one and then you breathe out,
Yeah.
and it instantly calms you down.
Yeah.
And I do that on a, when I'm out there, and it calms me down. But I don't get worked up just out there shooting. Like I'm cool with it. It's just if I have some, normally it's when I'm putting together a good run, and just to kind of keep, hold on, just calm down, stay in it, and don't get too, I guess, too like rhythm and timing, right? Don't
Yeah.
let that take over, because that's when the problems come up, but because the guy was asking, he had a good example was in Canada, or I'm sorry, China, when Chris Voss versus Joseph Molnar was match, and I haven't watched that match, so I don't know, but Joseph, they both shot really good scores for their 6 targets, and Joseph shot like really, really, really banger score, and then and he won that match, and then he went to the next match, and uh, I don't think it was as good of the next time. And the question was like, how do you, when you shoot a match like that, then you go to your next match, like that pressure, there's difference. Like what
Oh, for
happened
sure.
with that? And, it's a couple things. So like a big one, which would be like the most obvious one is, when we shoot in those situations, when you shoot your 6 targets, sometimes there's challenging 6 targets, and sometimes there's easier 6 targets. So it depends on what 6 targets you're getting. And I don't know their matches. So, I don't know, right? Like if you might've shot, if you go out there and shoot like a 50 meter, a 40 meter, a 15 meter, 25 meter on like all the hard faces, I mean, that's a tough set of 6.
Yeah.
Versus if you shoot like a 45 and a 30, then a 20, and then like a 5 or 10 meter bunny, those are an easier group of 6. But a big thing is probably what happened is he won that match, and then he got really amped up because he
Yeah.
won. And then it was like,
You got to forget about that, just like you got to forget
yeah,
about the bad shots, because that's
yeah. So
exactly
now
what
he
I did.
created more pressure because he won a match,
Yeah.
and he got,
100%.
like last time, and so some of the stuff, like a lot of us have worked for years to get to these next world games, right? And they're only 4 years, or was 3 years for the last one. But so it could have very well been a situation where Joseph last time got knocked out first match. This time made it first match. So now it's like, holy shit, I can make a run at this, and created his own internal pressure
Yeah.
by trying too hard. And it's just like, and honestly, the absolute best way is to just go suck in front of people. Put yourself out there and just let it happen. And the more you do that, dude, it doesn't even bother you anymore.
Yeah. And, kind of interesting. You said you don't really get the pressure in front of people. So I'm to be, and honestly, like I've always been a little more reserved, a little quieter used to be, maybe, maybe not so much
Mm-hmm.
anymore, but uh, I have never even thought about what people think, like as far as, and like, I'm not going to explain this very well, but like when we were at that 50-meter thing, I kind of felt bad afterwards, but Yak was doing like a little interview thing. I don't know if he went live with any of that or if he ever posted any of it or not, but he was like, so how do you feel coming off of day one, leading, blah, 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 this and that? He's like, what do you do? I'm like, man, I just, you know what? I just don't care. And that's the truth. Like, do I care about shooting well? Sure. Do I care about like doing well? Absolutely. But I just don't care what happens because I know that whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And the work I put in before that should equal where I'll be. You know what I mean? Like, I've
Yeah.
never worried about that because nobody does care. Nobody
No,
cares if you get
nobody
knocked
cares
out.
more than you.
I
Yeah.
mean, and that's the truth. Like I, I say that, but if you got friends up there, yeah, you care and you want them to do well. But other than that, I mean, whose opinion matters? And so
We're
none of
all
that.
going to lose it
That's
except for
it.
the one guy that wins it.
That's it. I mean, no
And then
matter
even
what.
that guy is probably looking back and like, man, I wish I could change a couple things even
Oh
on
yeah,
mine. And he's
I
the guy
had
that won the damn thing.
I had multiple shots where so I'd been shooting that widow and I had a 30-yard fixed curl, which was two marks up, two big marks on the Yoast tab up or down, uh, than my 50-meter on my Hoyt. So I actually shot two shots at the wrong crawl. Three
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
Two of them was in the team rounds. One of them was in the second day in our eliminations, and I shot like a 6 low, perfect left and right, just 6 low, and it was a great shot. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh god, and it hit me right afterwards, and I'm like,
Oh, wrong crawl.
yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, man, what the heck?
Yeah, what a dummy.
So,
Yeah.
and it, stupid stuff like that's gonna happen, but I definitely think you gotta forget about whatever happened 2 minutes ago or the last shot. Just treat each shot like its own. Because if you don't,
Yeah.
you'll dwell on, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, and
Yeah.
it's just not,
Yeah.
not good. And like Guy, he was mentioning the other day, he was like, oh, I'm trying to tighten my core, and he's taking all these different things from different folks and trying to
That's
mesh
all.
it into one. And I'm like, dude, and I didn't even actually mention this. Jeremiah did to him, and Jeremiah was basically like, no, you don't need to just shoot the bow. Like, don't go through 400 different situations, like in your head, like, oh, tighten your core, plant your feet, blah, 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 stand on
Yeah,
your
you're never
heels.
going to do that the same every time.
No.
And
And
then you're going
so,
to chase it.
yeah. And so Guy, over the weekend, so he came over Monday too, and he was shooting 40, 50, and 60, and mainly just the 60 because he's got a tournament here, the senior games thing here locally.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was prepping for that. And he was like, man, the only thing I'm really doing now is I'm having tension in my wrist, which he didn't have before. And I do, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but I know that it works for me. But he was like, well, I'm just not caring. I'm just shooting the bow. And he was shooting significantly better, because he was pretty disappointed in the way he shot at outdoor nationals because it was,
Mm-hmm.
he mentioned a little bit, it was a different shot almost every time, because he's trying to make sure that this is right, that's right. And, if you get too many things going on like that, it's just it's not going to be consistent and it's not repeatable, which is ultimately consistency
Yeah.
part of that.
Well, I'd say, yeah, like anybody that's, getting better and working on things. And I'm sure there's some people listening to this that are working on things and trying to get better. Like I said this to a guy had some tuning questions the other day. And, and it was kind of saying, yeah, I heard about something about
French tuning or something.
Yeah. Is that spider just crawling across the wall behind me?
Yeah. I thought you were decorating for Halloween
No,
movie.
dude, it was like right here crawling across the wall. What the hell? And and I don't mean this like in a negative way whatsoever. But and it's the same thing for like any form stuff or anything like that. There seems to be there seems to be a lot of, it's a social media thing, and everybody's got access to it, so everybody's got their opinions and their 2 cents to go out. But the other thing, my advice for anybody would be, if you're going to take advice or ask advice, or, take advice from anybody, is like, just really watch what folks are doing that you want to, like, I want to be able to do what that person's doing.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up too, because
Like,
I've seen it 100 times. Somebody's like, "Oh, well, so and so said this," and I'm like, "Well, what have they done to make you want to to follow whatever they're telling you to do?" I mean, and I'm
right.
not saying that to be mean, just like you were saying.
No,
I'm just saying
it's
that, like, it just makes sense, right? Like, if you want to go be the best basketball player in the world, you're going to call Jordan, or you know what I mean. It's the same
yeah,
difference. Like, you're not going to go talk to blah blah, Billy Bob. It's just not
yeah,
gonna.
the local high school,
Yeah,
basketball coach. Yeah,
yeah.
it's no,
No,
it's
that's
real. It's
a
like
hundred percent.
at some point, like, I mean, basic stuff will get you going. Like, you're brand new,
Sure.
you got the local guy at the club, and he's like, to you, he's like, I don't know, he appears to be a good shooter. Like, by
Sure.
all means, like, he'll probably get you going. But at some point, when you get out, especially folks that start going to tournaments and start seeing, you go to a tournament where you're at, and you watch that, it's like, well, you don't go ask this guy what he's doing that, shoots a 500 for 50 meters. Why don't you go ask Matt Hudson what he did, for that? And it's like, and then, so just watch that, like, look at results of who you're getting advice
Yeah.
from. Cause there seems to be a lot of people with opinions on how to do things, and they don't ever have results.
It's
So
just an
it's like,
opinion at
how
that
can they
point.
tell you how to do it if they never even done it themselves? That's my big hang up.
Yeah. No,
It's
I
like,
agree. I agree.
it's like, and I see it a lot. I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions anymore on like private messages or whatever on tuning stuff. And dude, I stand by this. Like, dude, 95% of people don't have a clue what they're doing on tuning. It's insane. And tuning's not hard. Like, it's not hard. It's just, they get this information for some people, and then they go along lines like Olympic and that stuff. Like, some of it, I guess, kind of carries over, but a lot of it
Kinda.
doesn't.
It's so different. I mean, it's so
It's
different
so,
because
you got to
everything on that
approach it.
boat's different.
Yeah, and they have a site. We don't have a site, people.
Yeah. And they're shooting
Right.
split finger. It just
Yeah, it's just, it gets different, and if it just happens to work for you, then it will work for you. But it's not the way it is, because
it will
it,
get
like,
you close.
like, it
100%.
doesn't work for me, and I dabble with some high end shooters, and, like, it's not. So, what you're not going to do is, you're not going to walk down a line of like world class shooters, right? You're not going to go to like an international tournament, or like the final peer groups and whatever, or at Lancaster line, and we're in the final 16. And what you're not going to do is walk down that line, and you're not going to see people come into form and tightening their core, and doing all this extra stuff. You're not going to see that.
Yep. No. No.
Maybe you will at Lancaster, but, like, you're not going to, on like a field or like a 50 meter. You're not going to see that stuff, because at that point, like, you can do things of multiple ways, but it's very just repetitive and simple. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
there's plenty of people that shoot with, like, not even perfect alignment.
Oh
Plenty
yeah.
of people,
Yeah. No.
world class
And
shooters.
yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, my form's not great. There's a whole lot of holes in it. You know what I mean? But it is consistent. Just like Dwayne. Dwayne has super duper dead release. I mean, it's hard to
That
beat
should
that
never
guy.
work. That
It
should
should
never
never
work.
work, and it's so hard to beat that dude. I
Go
mean,
tell them it doesn't work. Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I don't do it. I can't purposely do that. I
No,
can't
I can't. I've actually
purposely.
tried.
I'm like, how? Yeah, it's like, I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know how he does it, but he
Yeah.
does it, and he does it well. And
Which
it's
is,
like, dude, yeah, go beat him. If he,
yeah,
if he's
that's it.
supposed to be if he's supposed to be NTS and all this shit, go beat him. I dare you.
Yeah.
And then you got folks that have, like, I don't know if I don't know if it's an influencer or like a personality at this point, but they push like certain things like in NTS, and push these certain things, and all this stuff. And then it's like, they don't.
Well, and products too. Products is the biggest thing too. Like, if you go look, and not to bash on any rests of any kind, but saying, if you're following a dude that, like, say, indoor scores, he's shooting a 480, right, and he's like pimping this rest out, saying, "Oh, dude, this best rest in the world," blah blah blah.
Just don't even listen to that.
Dude, yeah, and it might be the best rest in the world, right? But there's you
You
just
can't
don't.
vet it. You
No,
can't
you
vet
can't.
equipment
I mean,
at
look at
a
what
certain
John is
point.
shooting or Dimmer's shooting. Look at what Zach is shooting. Look at what Brian Way, Ryan Davis. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
look at what these guys are shooting as far as rest. And there's nobody I know that tinkers more with different rests and stuff than you do. So, like, you have a good grasp on all of them, and I don't really. I shoot that free flight elite because it's easy for me to deal
Yeah.
to shoot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes, there is a bounce, absolutely.
Oh, that's
I
fine.
have shot with it forever, and it works for me. I've also shot the sniper rest, and it worked too. Um,
Yeah.
it's a little bit more work right off the bat, but once you get it set up, it's great. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
just there's a fiddle factor to me that I don't like to jack with a whole bunch of stuff. I'm a tinkerer to a point, but I just totally took a hard left. Uh,
Right.
but
No, it's fine.
but
It's
you
just
know what
real
I'm
talk.
saying? Like
Yeah.
the whole like, oh, this tab's the best tab, like it's
Yeah.
just,
It's
I think Zach shot like some crazy scores with like a left-handed tab Robbie gave him. You know what I mean? Like
right.
it's
Right.
just not that important, I mean, I
Yeah.
think there are great tabs, and then there are crappy tabs, and I think you shoot a very crappy tab.
I think you're full of shit, is what I think.
So you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like not that the Fairweather's a crappy tab because it's a great tab, but it does
I
not
think
work.
it holds all the world records at this point. A Fairweather tab does.
No, Dimmer
Yeah, it
still
does.
holds some that no, it doesn't.
No, I don't think Denver holds any anymore. I think Ollie's got them, and then Zach just took it from Ollie, the indoor. But
Okay,
Ollie
well
shoots
Zach should be.
Fairweather also.
Oh, Zach is shooting a
No,
freaking
Zach's shooting
Fairweather.
Fairweather. You better get in line,
Son
brother.
of a gun.
The
Dang.
best there is. So there is a
Okay.
best tab, and it's the Fairweather.
Yeah. So, but that's
Absolutely.
a good
Anyways,
little.
yeah.
Basically, the best tab for you isn't going to be the best tab for me, and it's all about
It's just
finger size,
whatever.
placement, blah blah blah.
And
Like
it's comforts. Like I just like it better. It's
I
like
like,
good enough.
yeah, and I like the sniper tab better than all of them, but it's such a pain in the rear to move those things
Sit
around
those
on it.
things. Yeah, I never dabbled with
And
it.
then the leather is like pleather, but I like it. I mean the thickness of it works for me very well. I don't shoot the tab anymore. I shoot just a standard brass Yoast tab now.
I wonder how many people realize that the sniper is Michael Meyer.
Surely everybody.
Oh, I don't know. And Michael Meyer, that guy that makes that shit, designs that shit or whatever, is an absolute world-class shooter.
Yeah,
dude, he's world-class. He's world-class. He's world-class.
Yep.
So, when they go on about this, is like the guy that makes a sniper rest absolutely knows what's going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and and that's the stuff you want too. Like you want to look at who's building this, who's building that. Like I'm sure Dimmer had a lot to say about the Yoast tab.
Of course,
I'm sure he had a lot of influence on.
I'd be willing to bet, and I may be totally off base, but I'd be willing to bet that tab is like that's Demmer. That's what Demmer wanted in a tab.
Sure. Yeah.
And then now it's that, and it's like, well, you're not going to go because that's a world class tab.
Yeah.
It's just right. The Fairweather tab, like Simon Fairweather made that tab.
Yeah.
Like,
and if you notice, like all that kind of falls into line, right? Like all those high level shooters and what they're using is stuff they've probably built, and then
because they needed this. They see something missing, and they're like, I need this.
Just like
and saw them
Dimmer's
create it.
grip. Like that grip is pretty iconic there, and I did not like it, but that's what I shoot now because it's just super
I need to
repeatable.
get one.
It's very repeatable grip.
I've been looking for one. Anybody got like a black one with the rubber for a Gilo? Holler at me. I'm looking for one. I don't have one for a Gilo. I got one for a Hoyt. I don't have any for a Gilo. I've been wanting to play with one again.
Yeah, I like. There's flaws in it to me, but they're not big enough for me to try to change.
Yeah, it gets some. At some point things are just good enough because it's pretty easy to get 100%. Like crazy on it. But you definitely want stuff. But it's I don't know. It's interesting on how everything it kind of goes, and the same. There's a guy, and he gives really good feedback about what we're doing here at the podcast, and he's a sharp dude, and I met him in Lancaster a few years ago, and and he was asking me, he's like, hey, if you got a second, can you, about the form thing, he's like, can you watch me shoot? And I said, yeah. So we go over and shoot, and he listens to us, so I hope he hears this, and it was cool. I like meeting people, and I was watching him shoot, and he was worried, kind of coming in and like drop. I don't remember the exact details, but kind of dropping in and getting this. He's like, well, I got kind of like whatever it was. So I was like, yeah, let me watch, just shoot for a bit. He's shooting, dude, and his form was like good. And he was doing the extra movement, and he kind of going down. Then it was just like, I don't remember the exact details of it, but I'm like, dude, you're good. Don't even do that. He's like, really? I was like, no.
Oh, don't make that extra little movement at the end or something.
Yeah, don't do that. It's just like, you're good. Just right there.
Yeah.
Is that normal? Is that comfortable? It's like, yeah. It's like, do that. It was very simple, and I think a lot of people, like, when whoever listens to this, if you just go out and shoot and you got all these extra, like, stop doing that. Just kind of come in, right? Maybe you want to get in alignment. Like, there's some super basic stuff.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
But beyond that,
it's going to be pretty personalized. It's going to have to be.
Just get in and go. Don't get on YouTube and watch Kaminsky and be like, man, I've got to be this, and then I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, because, like, okay, what does that prove? I mean, he doesn't shoot any barebow stuff, so there's nothing there. And this is completely different from Olympic. So,
yeah. Well, and kind of feeding off of that a little bit too, like, I will say that, so Tom Klum came to Oklahoma here a couple of years ago and put on a little clinic, And
yeah, I seen him at boot camp.
Yeah. And I'll say this, like, we sit here and we was just talking about, don't take advice from people who aren't where you want to be. You know what I mean? But I will say this, that dude, the way he explains, like, the form awesome. And everything. Yes, it is. And it's like, it's a personalized thing. And he's very upfront about that. He's like, oh, well, some people's forearms are longer than other people. So alignment's different for this guy versus this guy. Like, just because it looks like you're in alignment doesn't really mean you are.
You might be big chested or something, dude. And you just can't.
You
might just be whatever posture. And you just can't. Like, dude, you just can't do it. Like, why fight it? You're never going to be there.
He does a good job of it. I wasn't at that clinic. I wanted to be, but I think I was at a tournament somewhere. But, oh, dude, sorry about my phone.
No, you're good. So, can you hear the beeping in my background?
No. But
okay.
Yeah, you know what? Guy went to it and told me about all that, and I'm like, man, see, that's what needs to be put out there, is like a guy, giving examples of it should be relatively close to this, but you're going to have to kind of judge for yourself on exactly how that's going to have to feel. You know what I mean? Like, he can give you a great direction and all that, and that's all anybody can do. As far as all that.
Yeah, because if I get too crazy, I'll get going and I get too crazy, and like I'll feel like a little bit of like an extra like tension like in my neck.
In your neck, yeah.
And I'm like, and if I just kind of let off a little bit where I just be naturally, it's like, okay, well, I wonder what's right. Well, the one that doesn't hurt me is right. So.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I mean, and that's where I was at last year at Lancaster. I shot a different anchor, and it was because of my neck. I kept getting like issues with my neck, and it was because I was coming back, hooking my jaw and like pulling forward, like toward the bow, and then moving my neck back to like hold tension. Like, and I figured that out, but that's for everybody to have to do, is to figure that part of it out.
Yeah.
Because it's,
but just go to like, if you want to be like, I don't know, you want to go for a field team, and you want to tune, and you get this shit figured out. Like, dude, you need to be reaching out to some field shooters with results that you want to do right now. If you're like an entry field shooter and you just got, like I said, you got like a local dude or whatever that's done it, and he's just like intermediate, absolutely, like, get shooting, go do it.
Yeah.
But at some point you got to go past that and be like, all right, how do you
there's
really
levels.
do this?
There's levels to that.
You want to be surprised the amount of people that I have still tell me that I'm doing things wrong for field. Like, they will tell me that I shoot the wrong spine on a parallel arrow for field. Still. And it blows my mind. And it's like there's
Froze up on me. Okay,
yeah, you there?
You froze up on me. Did I freeze on you?
Yeah, still going though. It
Okay.
records through it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean for sure. And
But
it's so
it's crazy.
personalized. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, why don't you, reach out? Like, Jemmer is the best American field shooter we've ever had. It's like, why aren't you, like, you better be listening to what that guy says.
Yeah. That's why we do a couple episodes with him, because you can't do a high level episode without some of his input. Like, I bet we've never actually done a full podcast here, or even just a conversation that we have outside of this that probably doesn't involve his name. Truthfully, you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's
yeah,
because we're all kind of pushing to do what he's done. And by all, I mean, me and you definitely are, right? We want to
yeah.
shoot
I'm chasing
records. Like,
him. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like he's the standard of
that's it.
American field shooter,
That's it.
and I'm just trying to get there the best I can,
Sure.
and I feel like I'm making progress, and so you got to go, and if you want to, it's just it's and I don't, it's just like a weird thing with the new with like the, I don't know, you get like, you see it on the forums and stuff like that, and you see it on, definitely on like the Facebook groups or whatever, which I don't get on those too much, but
Well, I can't even get on the barebow group thing.
yeah, and
They want to let, who runs that thing?
I don't know.
I'm not into it.
I don't know. I was thinking about, we should start like a Facebook for the 3 under, like a discussion group.
Yeah, we're not going to cancel people out and they can just talk.
Yeah, but not let it get out of hand with some of the, just like the daily influencer type of look at me stuff.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying, like that gets kind of like,
what you're saying. Well, that's
yeah, it gets,
that's that whole friggin' and I'm not bashing on that barebow group thing, but I've tried to post multiple answers to some questions on there, and or comment on some different things. Of course, I'm super new to that Facebook situation, but I've tried to do that.
Who knows if you're even doing it right?
And nobody will approve it. Whoever does that,
really,
and it bugs the fire out of me, because I'm like, this is so. I just don't like being censored, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't like that, because I'm not going to bring anything negative to it. I'm trying to actually take the negative that I see and bring it up to something positive, and it's just, they don't see it that way. They see it like, oh, you're going against what Billy Bob says.
I think there's a lot of good technical discussions that folks could have that aren't getting talked about, and maybe people don't want to talk about them. Sometimes, I mean, there's an element of like,
well, they don't definitely don't want to hear that they're wrong.
There's some field things that I've figured out over the years, and I'm not really willing to spout off some of my secrets, that I've figured out. There's some things I keep to myself, it's like, well, you can just kind of figure that out,
well, and at some point we may come up, and at some point we may come up with something that kind of shares some of those field things, little things like that. Hopefully in the future we'll kind of get to that point.
Yeah, we'll see what the future holds.
Because there's not much of that here, you know what I mean? I mean, there's some.
Well, there's not. There's just, well, we don't have very many field tournaments, and then there's just a handful of us, it seems, that do them, and then there's this like an even fewer handful that's like, and it's not like a dog on anybody, but you just look at what it takes to be internationally competitive in field, for example. Look what it takes, and like I'm barely competitive there, you know, and it's just like, Jesus, and it's just like, dudes are good, man. Dudes, the Europeans are good.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. It's just crazy to do. And it's just like, to become good at this is insane. It's insane.
Difficult, man. It's a hard discipline to.
Yeah. But it's hard, it's the same thing, like, I feel like over here is like, we got some pretty good, 50-meter shooters. Right. So maybe it's the Americans and I don't know. I don't keep track a lot. I mean, I know like Ollie's got the record and stuff like that. So I know there's good 50-meter shooters everywhere. But
I thought Ollie had the youth record, because I'm pretty sure he shot like
I think he's got I think everything.
I thought he shot like a 1298. because Dimmer
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
like
Hold on. Okay, you know what? Maybe Demmer's got the
13.26.
double round.
Yeah, he
Ollie's got the
does.
single round.
Okay,
Okay.
that is right because Dimmer has got
Yeah.
it for like 13.26 or 13.28.
Yeah. And I wonder if Leo's got all the junior stuff or
So
if
that
Ollie does. I
technically
don't know about
means
that.
my dad is the winner of one.
The double round. Okay, your dad's got the double round. Yeah. Well, Leo, I don't know if does Leo still have all his, or did Ollie get those as he was? Because Ollie was
Found him.
just
And whatever happened to
terror
Ollie? I
for a
haven't heard
bit.
it. You
No,
haven't?
dude, he's still shooting. I think he's
Is he?
yeah. I see him on Instagram. He just shot. I think he just won their.
I may not be a friend
That
of
Great
his.
Britain does their
I'll have to do that.
what do they do? They call it something. Their national tour. I think he just won that. All he did. I've
Oh,
seen.
okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if
So
he's
yeah,
coming to. He went to Lancaster last year, huh?
I don't know. I don't remember last year, but it was like the year before. I think he
Yeah,
came.
definitely the year before.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll come
it'll
again
be
this
good.
year. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, dude,
I'm
I think
excited for that.
I think there's some more Australians coming. So I think Judah Holmes is coming with
Is
Hugo.
Fisher going to come?
I don't know. I ain't talked to him. The Fairweathers are not. I asked them. They're not coming.
I need to message Mike and see if he's going to come. Dude, he's
Yeah.
cool. Oh yeah, you got to hang him in Canada.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
got to. I got to shoot with him. We shot unmarked round together, and they got to hang out. We got to hang out, so it was cool. Yeah, I like Fisher. He's a ball to be around. But yeah, that was a whole episode of a bunch of gibberish, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know what the.
Sound like a bunch of
I don't
ranting.
even know what that was. Yeah, it was a bunch of ranting. Well, it's just
but
you
what?
go and I get messages and people are asking questions, right? And then people are like, they're just like they're at they're maybe having some issues with target panic, and they're just like, hey, those be like, hey, you think I should go to a trigger shot, or hey, I'm just playing with this and I'm whatever, and so I'm giving them some of my just feedback on like my experience, and then I have people ask about like how do you the pressure thing, right? How do you kind of do that? And it's like, I don't know if that's a whole episode worth the thing, but it was good to talk about, and then I just get messages here and there stuff, so as we get messages and I read stuff, we can talk about it for that week's episode.
Not only that, too. I mean, if
and then maybe we'll get like feedback from this episode, and people will call us a bunch of idiots and tell us we're wrong or we're assholes because we have.
There's definitely the best rest out there.
Too good. We're too good or something, but and we could fix it for next episode.
Hey, you know what? I got to say this too. We was shooting with some guy. I don't remember who it was. Well, I don't remember his name, but we was shooting. It was like the last day or whatever. Well, and he had the digital score thing, and then somebody else had the paper.
Yeah.
Are you allowed? So this is how we've always done it, or I've always done it anytime I've ever been on a bill. I'll keep track and write this numbers down and everything, but if it's like some goofy math, you got like a 4, 7 and blah, 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 it's harder to keep track of. If you're keeping it digitally, this guy was like, nope, I can't tell you. You got to do the math. And I'm like, what? It's like, dude, I'm not sitting here going back to third grade trying to figure out how to do a math equation. Let's get on the road, And he was like, refused it. And I'm like, oh, man, I wouldn't call him out on this, and I'm sure that's probably a rule. But
the paper scorecard is
official.
That's God, right?
Yeah.
The tablet's just the second one.
Correct. But it's a computer. It's going to do the math.
Yeah, as long as let's help out here. As long as we're well, I'm the same thing. As I'm going down, I'm like reading, and it's like 28, 54.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, oh, okay. But we're checking it. We're like,
that's the deal.
Say it, and then he'll be like, yep, because we're just making sure. That makes for a long day.
Oh, dude, it was.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be a little bit much.
Yeah.
That's a little bit much.
I'd
be like, really, dude? Come on, you're killing me.
Oh, I said that for sure.
Yeah.
And more things.
Like, well, I guess I'm bringing my phone down here with my calculator then.
Yeah.
I just leave my phone down there at the target, and I don't know if that's allowed.
I'm sure
Like,
it's
yeah, you're
not.
killing me. We're taking forever. Yeah, it's
I
at
don't
some
know.
point it gets to be like
I
there's
thought he
no
was going to
advantage down here.
try to get me docked points for walking too fast back or something too. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's
And
a
I feel like I'm super easy to get along with, especially on the line. Like I'm,
yeah.
easy to deal with. But at that point, I was pretty checked out
Yeah, I
on
think
that whole
that's I don't
thing.
know. I think people get whatever. I had a guy one time tell me that my tab was illegal
I
because
remember
I
you
put
telling
my
me about that.
own
You
marks
put
on
your
it.
own marks on it, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I hope he go protest right now. I hope he goes and loses his stupid money.
Yep.
And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And he's like, well, that guy is like, I don't even recognize that guy. It's like, yeah, I hope he does. And it's just people, I don't know,
Whatever.
just being whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, just be
All
nice on
right.
the line, okay?
Yeah. And use your calculator.
Use your freaking calculators. All right.
Yeah.
I guess we got an hour and 15 on this one.
Yeah.
So
Just a bunch of, whatever the hell. I hope that answers some questions for you guys over the few of you that's reached out. And, if you want to, if
if
we
you
didn't
want an
cover it, you
episode
want us to
on,
go in more.
yeah, something
Yeah.
specific,
If
sure.
you want something specific, we can do. It doesn't need to be an hour. We can spend a half hour on something or get something like, because there's a few, like the one guy, he's got some pretty good feedback. He's an educated guy. He's like, oh, hey, how about this? And you're like, God damn, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do like his feedback.
We
And
and we
then
pretty much like it
whatever.
all. So if anybody's willing
Oh
to
yeah,
message
anybody's
anything on
feedback.
there,
Yeah, if you guys have anything specific we can go into. I think I've had some for people want, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that next. They want a field tuning, like a field tuning, like how
well,
I field tune,
yeah, I'll be
start to
kind of out of the
finish.
loop, but I'll participate.
Yeah, they want that, which I don't know. It's
Yeah, you
it's
might.
not
I mean,
hard,
yeah,
but
you can
it's
probably
it's
do that in like a 20-minute session, huh?
I can quickly go through. I can quickly go
Yeah,
through it and get
yeah.
people headed that right way for sure. So
Basically, you
maybe
can
we'll
have a
do that one.
one-on-one with Ryan for field tuning. It's $700 an hour, with a 5-hour minimum. Okay.
Yeah, 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 right, yeah, right. And you can make next year's field team.
Boom.
It's my guarantee. Yeah.
There it
Yep.
is. All right, dude.
All right, dude.
Have a good one. See
See ya.
everybody later.